Hey everybody, this is MyCollectables coming back with a current state of Veve video. I'm going to break down where I think the app is at right now, what's been going on, the things that are happening at this moment in time, and what I'm doing actually during this time right here. So I really want you to share your thoughts as well in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think about the current state of Veve. There's lots to talk about, and that's the crazy part actually, is that there's so much to talk about and people are still so active in this app, and it's ramping up as time goes on, right? So if you do like this video, make sure you hit like. Like I said, comment down below. That's the most important thing. I want to know what you think about where we are in Veve right now at this particular moment. Things change quickly, and lots of stuff is coming up. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens over the next couple of weeks. You can also follow me on Twitter and we can continue this conversation there. The link's in the description of all my vids. And if you want to join my channel as a member and get a Drophead NFT, get into my rewards programs, it's a lot of fun. And we're handing out just another bunch of comics yesterday, and we're doing it every week. We have Omi coming up as well, and you know that Omi's a bit on the rise. So let's get into this. The current state of Veve. Where are we now, and where are we going? It is a really interesting time as we're sort of in this holding pattern in the middle with stuff looming. Multiple drops coming. Let's get right into this. Now, there's a David Yu Binance interview that's coming up. And so this has actually sparked a lot of interest right now. There's a vast audience that is going to be tapped in when this happens. And we're going to see what David Yu has to say. Omi, the token itself, there's been implications for the value of the token because of this announcement. Now, we don't know exactly when this is going to be released, but there was, it was tweeted out and it was also put out on David Yu's Instagram. A picture of him, of course, saying that there's an interview coming up. So we're all waiting to see what's going to happen with that because, this could have huge implications for Veve for sure and Omi on exchanges and all sorts of stuff like that. And it has actually caused a boost in the Omi token price. So that's currently coming up. We'll wait to see when that happens, but that's very exciting. He's actually done 2 interviews in succession, quite recently after we hadn't heard from David in quite a while because of his traveling. He did 2 separate interviews. I covered both on the channel and gave you quick recaps of both. There's one with Queen Veve, with Lori. That was a Twitter Space one. And there's one with Matt Gondek. You can check the video recaps on my channel for those and go back and listen to them. And we're going to get another one soon. So that's big news for sure. Now, MCP phase 1 testing is underway. So this is what they're doing. They're right in the middle of it. And, they're supposed to be coming out by the end of the month or so in the next few weeks here. They actually are just testing it out. There's users, you can see people have tweeted it out, what it looks like with their ranking and stuff. They're not showing their actual ranking, but you can see how it has looked. So people are in the middle of testing this right now. So phase 1 should be coming very soon. It's underway. And unless there's major bugs, which happens, for sure, there could, that could mean more delays, but it looks like it's kind of moving along. They did catch a couple small little tweaks and things that Mitch from Veve said, but it looks like it's still, under its process. And if you watch, if you go and look at Veve's article, where they have the process of how they do things, they roll the stuff out to certain members at the beginning, then they add more members and then more members each week, until the whole thing is working smoothly, and then they roll it out to the rest of us. So it looks like it's still on track. So that's really good news. The Veveverse also is set to launch in March. This is from what they were talking about in the beginning of the year. This is the very beginning part of it. This is where you're, you have your little home and stuff. And we'll see how this goes if it actually does follow through. There always are delays, as we see with Veve, as they find bugs and stuff like that, and they're working on MCP first, but it's supposed to be out in March or so, sometime around then. And so we'll see what happens with that. I'm not confident that that is actually going to happen personally. I think it's going to be delayed a bit just because they're working on the master collector, but they do have a way of turning these things around really fast. So we'll see what happens with that, and we'll stay tuned. Right now, coordinated marketing promotions and efforts have now begun officially. We've always seen little things that are happening here and there, but with the Lamborghini NFT release that happened, we saw a coordinated press release, and marketing little campaign that got put out there where at 9 a.m. on that morning that they announced that, Lambo was coming out, it showed up everywhere. So this is really good news that they're actually going to be starting this now. We'll see how many other drops they do this with and which drops they do this with, because Lambo was a pretty big one, and it was a pretty it was a pretty important one to put out there. So they did coordinated efforts. So that's the first time that I've ever seen like that kind of marketing. So that's actually now begun as they ramp it up. I'm sure they were not going to do this on all, drops coming up for sure. I'm sure they want to have some things in place like the Master Collector program and other stuff. So we'll see more of this as bigger drops come, as I wait for bigger drops, just like you guys do too. Now, the OMI token as well has gone up in value. This is probably due to that Binance interview announcement. And there was another exchange added for you to get OMI on as well. So this kind of thing has jumped the price of OMI a bit. So I know people who are invested in OMI have been really excited about that and seeing where it's going to go. I'm not playing that market very much at all, although you do win OMI on this channel. So I know my members are happy because we've been handing out OMI, and we'll have another OMI, weekly reward draw for my NFT holders as well. But like, it's gone up in value. We'll see where it goes from here as well. But these kind of this kind of interview announcement is going to be really interesting to see where that goes. Right now, on the flip side, the market in Veve on the collectibles and comics, generally speaking, it's actually down in value a little bit over the last few days. This people thought maybe it was a Lamborghini, gem squeeze, and I think that did have something to do with it. But now that Lambo's here and the price of Lamborghini has actually been going down, it hasn't been being swept up and everything like that, like crazy. People are still selling stuff, but the grails have been maintaining on the app and actually doing okay and just fine. Comic supply is reducing even more as we get closer to MCP. You'll notice that the comic supply is dwindling as people stack. And I'll tell you about what I'm doing in just a few minutes as well, what I'm doing during this time, right? But there's almost daily drops as well. And I think that actually is affecting the market because people are trying to have gems, keep gems aside for these drops. They're coming daily. This is going to be happening for the next couple of weeks where we're getting all these drops all the time, and it will affect the market. So if you're a buyer in the market, this is actually probably a really great time for you if you're looking at like picking up stuff, because you can see that the grails are maintaining, but other stuff is dwindling a bit. And it's probably due to this daily drops. It's quite a lot. People don't want to put a ton of gems in the app at the moment, but they still want to go for these drops, right? Which is really kind of cool, right? So community activity is up. I've never seen it so active before. We have wallet investigations all the time going by the community. People are totally interested in what's going on with certain collectibles and wallets and stuff. They're digging into it on Twitter Spaces all the time. We got fudders out there going crazy. We got FUD busting going crazy. And we have content creators putting out content like never before. More people are getting into it. And so like the community activity is at like an all-time high, if you ask me. And so that is a really good factor. If you're talking about NFT projects and platforms, you want the community to be super active. And we have a big one here, regardless of what's going on in the markets and what drops are happening. There's a lot of interest in Veve, and it seems to be growing even more with the new branding and all the stuff that's coming. And with this press releases and stuff like that, and David, you coming out and getting into the interviews, I mean, this stuff is just growing and growing. So we'll see where this goes as well. Now, what I'm doing over this next little while right here, as I watch for drops coming, is I'm still focused on the grails. I'm still focused on the Miles Morales' and amazing fantasies and things like that. I'm actually now stacking comics as well. I've been doing this for the last like month or so, mostly uncommons of some of the new releases of these first appearances and stuff. I've been trying to put them away as best I can. I'm looking for that price range between 2 and 3 gems each. And I'm just stacking them up as much as I can as I'm trying to slowly prepare. Not going crazy. I'm not going to be able to compete with the top people, of course, in the app, the massive whales, but I'm going to actually try to see how far I can get. Now, I'm also awaiting top drops that are coming because I know that there's possibly Mandalorian stuff coming up. I know there's big comics coming because if you saw my last couple videos and my live streams, we've been talking about these facsimile comics that are showing up in the stores. And when those show up in the stores, they usually show up here in Veve and over on DC NFT. So I'm also factoring my stuff in on that. We got Hulk 1 as a facsimile. We got Spider-Man 129, which is the Punisher. That facsimile is out, and all the other ones have hit. So I'm just waiting on top drops and saving some gems. But I'm also taking advantage of sellers right now. As I said earlier, with the market, with it going down a bit as people sell and get money for these drops, I'm also trying to add a little bit of gems here and there, not crazily, but here and there, to take advantage of some of these deals, and I wonder if you're doing the same thing. But mostly I'm having the time of my life right now. I'm having fun in Veve. It is so exciting right now. There's so much to talk about. So I'm really, really happy with how the project is going and where we're going. And I'm happy with all the stuff I'm seeing developing. It's quite interesting daily. There's always something new going on. And that's the thing about Veve that is really exciting, is that it keeps pushing forward, you know, and so we'll see where this goes. I want to know what you guys are doing right now as well, and what you think about the state of Veve right now. And if I've missed anything, please let me know. I know there's lots more to talk about. This is just a nice overall recap. Let me know what you think in the comment section. We'll see how the next couple weeks goes, and we'll do another video a little bit later on as more stuff gets announced. Anyway, hope you have a great day. Thanks for stopping by to watch the video. Happy collecting.